Let's do part two. So where we left off, I was talking about how we were really good friends. Like we did things for each other. We did things that married people do. You know what I'm saying? But we weren't married anymore. We were separated officially, but we were my husband and I were we were good friends, and that's what mattered. We did go through, I'm gonna lie, we went through some hateful stuff, but then we came into a space. Let's get back to when he told me I was a good mother. He called me on Mother's Day of 2016, said, "You're a great mom. I appreciate you so much." Da, da, da. And I said, "I love you too, and I appreciate you. Thank you for calling and telling me that. That means a lot to me." And that, my friends, was the last time I ever spoke to him. Some couple of months go by, and I'm like, "Oh, he hasn't called the kids. He hasn't even called. What's going on?" And so it went from like thinking, oh, he's trying to just find himself, and maybe he don't want to be a father right now. Maybe he doesn't want to, be responsible for the kids right now. And it was very upsetting because the kids, where's my dad? I want to talk to my dad, and things like that, and you can't answer them because you don't know what the hell's going on. And so you're trying to be as a mom, the type of mom that I am. I'm not. Uh, there wasn't bad thing. I didn't have bad. I don't have bad things to say. I have two fathers, biological fathers to my four daughters, and I don't speak bad about them. Like, don't have time. Plus, in my opinion, uh, for lack of a better term, they're not an asshole to you. They love you. They're an asshole to me. so, so we're being butts to each other. That has nothing to do with whether or not you love your children. So there's no need for me to tell children what their father is doing. I think it's the most irresponsible thing a parent can do, in my opinion. It's the most irresponsible thing. Why would you bring them into this stuff that adults are going through? Okay, so that was the last time I spoke to him, and I thought for a few months, that he was just like tripping. I was like, oh, he's tripping right now. He's going through, but he'll call. Or maybe he lost his phone. Maybe he's busy. Maybe he was supposed to start that new job, so maybe he's. And then some time went on, and I started speaking to his brother, and his brother was like, I haven't seen him. You haven't what? I haven't seen him. Now, when he moved to his brother's house. Sorry, back up. He moved to his brother's house. And his brother, I spoke to I want to say towards the fall. Remember, May was the last time I talked to him. I spoke to the brother in the fall. And he was like, well, he moved out. And I was like, moved out? What do you mean? He said, well, he got mad at me. We got into an argument or a fight or something like that. And he moved out. He doesn't live here anymore. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, he hasn't come back? He hasn't called you? He just left his things there? And he was like, yeah, he just left his things there and he's just not here. And it was the weirdest thing to hear because the way the brother was talking about him, the way the brother was talking about him was like had turned his back on him too, and that he was just being, irresponsible. And there were some things that had been going on with us in our relationship when we were married. And I had shared with his brother some things that we were going through some struggles financially and things like that. And he was like, it's just like you said, he's not taking care here either. Da, 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 da. I'm like, what? If your brother is missing, if your brother hasn't called you, why are you talking about him to me? It kind of it was just weird to me. Like, why are you talking about him to me? In the way you're talking about him to me, like almost like in a gossipy fashion. Isn't your brother missing? So I spoke to him in the fall, nothing. And then I spoke to him again, like towards that winter. And at some point, he told me that there was literally that he had reported him missing, and that the brother had reported him missing. And okay, so the next thing that happened was the brother kept saying he was missing. The brother kept saying he was missing, and that there was two detectives that were looking into the two detectives were investigating him and being missing. And I was like, well, what happened that night? And he's like, well, we got into a fight, we got into an argument, and he just picked up his things and left. And I said, picked up what things and left? And he said, he picked up his wallet, but he left his firearm. I'm sorry, he was always armed security. So he had a firearm at all times. He was always licensed armed security wherever he was. He kept his license up, and he was always armed security. And he said he left his firearm, and he left, he leave his wallet, or he left his phone or something like that, and then he just left. And I was like, he left things like that, and he never came back. And he was like, no. So it's just, of course, it started to look fishy. It just started to look crazy. And I was like, this doesn't even sound right. But I'm listening to this man, and I'm like, well, I don't want to disturb. I don't want to disturb our relationship because then I'll stop getting any information at all. Meantime, I'm taking care of these children by myself, so I can't even afford to go to Kentucky and see what's going on. All I know is there's some uh, that he's missing, and then I try to call the detectives, and nobody will call me back. Nobody's giving me an answer. Nobody's giving me anything, and he's just quote unquote missing. And the brother kept talking to me, but talking to me in a way that it was like his brother was sorry or horrible. And I can't believe you know what I'm saying? And he wasn't talking to me like he was missing his brother, that his brother was missing, that he loved his brother. He was talking to me like, good riddance, he wouldn't get the job that I wanted him to get anyway. And he's just playing video games and he wasn't doing this and doing that. And I was like, this is a really hard talk from somebody who's missing their brother. Yep. And that went on for about another year. We spoke about 2 or 3 more times, and that's how that went. But still, no sign of him, no sight, no sign. What I found out at the time was if you're an adult, all they can do is put you on the missing persons list, which means if he was walking down the street in Alaska and got caught jaywalking, all the cops could do is say, I saw him. They couldn't hold him or arrest him or they just could let you know that there's been a sighting of him. He's been seen somewhere. So that's all you can do when somebody's missing and they're an adult. That's all you can do. All you can do is just have that he was seen. And that's it. So that's all I had. Is that he was is that if he would be seen somewhere that somebody would tell me. Yep. I'm gonna stop right now and we're gonna get into a part 3. Y'all please like, comment, share, follow me. I'm on a trek to 10K, and I've been holding off from telling this story for years, years. And so I thank you guys for listening, and we'll get to part 3